Good morning, students. I hope you all are good and doing well. I am Rajni Singh, your moral science teacher. Students, today I will discuss with you lesson 13, 14, 15, and 16. In all these chapters, we will talk about trust. How can we develop trust and what are the benefits of trust? So let's start. Before starting our chapter, let's read about what are the objectives of this chapter. First objective is to practice trusting yourself and others, to discover how faith develops from struggles and challenges, to trust that life will bring me what I need to grow. And the fourth objective is to appreciate that with trust and faith, love conquers all. So today we will know what is trust by the greatest saints of Hinduism and great devotee of Lord Krishna, Mirabai. The story I am presenting today is based on legends about this great saint.
Saint Mira or Mirabai. Saint Mira or Mirabai was a great Hindu saint known for her fearless disregard for social and family conventions in her devotion to Lord Krishna. She was born in the year 1498 into a royal family of Rajasthan in India. She was born during the Bhakti movement around the 16th century in India. She was a great devotee of Lord Krishna and wrote hundreds of beautiful devotional poems and sang many kirtans in praise of the Lord. Mira's father and mother died when Mira was around 7 years of age. She was brought up by her grandfather, who was a devout man. From him, Mira received lessons in religion, politics, and governance. She was also well educated in music and art. In her devotion to Lord, Mira began to serve the ideal of Lord Krishna as she would serve her husband. Time flew past and Mira's devotion to her Lord grew to such an extent that she began to see herself as married to him. As Mira began to grow up, her guardians began to look for a groom for Mira. In 1516, she was married off to the crown prince of Mewar. Mira's husband was initially confused, and in the beginning, he tried to pull Mira back into the worldly life. Soon enough, he began to appreciate her, and before long, a relationship based on friendship and mutual respect began to grow between them. It is said that her husband protected her young wife from all kinds of criticism and encouraged her to write poems. He also built the temple of Lord Krishna within the fort complex so that Mira could serve her Lord at will. Unfortunately, Mira's husband died in a battle in the year 1521. The death had a profound effect on Mira. She not only lost a friend but also her mentor and her protector. With the death of her husband, Mira began to devote more time to her spiritual practices. She danced and sang for hours in front of the deity in the temple. Devotees, consisting of common people, came from far and wide to listen to her songs. This was not taken kindly by the royal household and they tried to stop her. She became persecuted by her in-laws for her religious devotion. However, Mira did not let anything to come in her way. She began to concentrate on spiritual practices more and more. Within a short period, her father-in-law too lost his life in a battle and her brother-in-law became the ruler. He highly disapproved of such public show of devotion and at point of time tried to lock her up inside her quarters. It is also said that on 2 occasions he even tried to kill her by administering poison. But each time she was miraculously saved. Ultimately, she was sent into exile. Mira first went back to her parental home. However, her relatives too disapproved of her conduct. So Mira decided to leave Rajasthan and go to Vrindavan, where her Lord Krishna had spent her boyhood days. Once in Vrindavan, Mira was free to serve her Lord without restraint. There she led the life of hermit, writing poems, having discourses with other sages, and interacting at will with the devotees. She also undertook pilgrimages, visiting places associated with Lord Krishna. Her popularity began to increase day by day, and everywhere she went, devotees gathered around her in the hope of listening to her words and to hear her sing. She passed her last days at Dwarka, where Lord Krishna and his clan were said to have lived after leaving their original home at Mathura. Here, in 1547, Mirabai left her mortal body to unite with the Lord. It is not exactly known how Mirabai died. According to legends, she merged into the ideal of Lord Krishna and became one with him. One of Mirabai's ecstatic songs, as translated by one of India's great saint Paramhans Yoganand, if by bathing daily God could be realized, sooner would I be a whale in the deep. If by eating roots and fruits he could be known, gladly would I choose the form of a goat. If the counting of rosaries uncovered him, I would say my prayers on mammoth beads. If bowing before stone images unveiled him, a flinty mountain I would humbly worship. If by drinking milk the Lord could be imbibed, many calves and children would know him. If abandoning one's wife could summon him, would not thousands be units? Mirabai know that to find the Divine One, the only indispensable is love.
So students, what you learned from this video? That the trust of Mirabai on Lord Krishna not saved her from all difficulties of her life, but also she achieved her life's goal. Similarly, if we want to live in a harmonious environment, we should also develop trust on our classmates, teachers, friends, relatives, parents, and society. I hope students you understood the chapter very well. Thank you and have a nice day.